And I opened a mobile SIM account, a prepaid mobile account, and I got these three SMSs. Very production, service-orientated messages. Didn't really say anything, right? I also got this really long set of instructions on how to use my prepaid phone number, which of course I didn't read. But what I did do was that I started using data. I didn't make any calls because I don't like the phone. I sent SMSs to Australia to say hello to my wife. And then I went to Macau so that I could jump off Macau Tower. And this is all I got. I got these 3 messages. But what could I have received? I could have received something that told me how cheap it was to make local calls, because it's really cheap to make local calls in Hong Kong. I could have received a message to tell me how much my SMSs were calling, how much my SMSs to Australia were, or how cheap it was to actually pick up the phone and talk to my wife instead of sending her an SMS because I'm cheap. Right? It could have told me how much it would cost me to roam to Macau because they have data roaming to Macau. It could have told me how much it would cost me to forward my email and set up my voicemail because I hadn't done that. And they could have checked my balance within 5 days because I ran out of money. Right? All of these things they could have sent to me based on the data that they had, but they didn't send any of them. Any one of these things would have triggered an increase in revenue. Any one of them. But it's also a service to me because I didn't know any of these things. The assumption that we make as marketers that we give you a PDS about our product, and of course you read it back to, from front to back and you memorize it all and you know everything about the product, but customers don't. What you should be doing is that you should be listening to the customer to see how they use your product and then understanding how they could better use your product. Customers that use your product well are much less likely to leave because they'll be much more satisfied. We spend all this time designing great products for our customers, but we don't show them how to use them. We assume that they read our PDS. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to get your organization to be customer-oriented? Right? And in fact, the best customer-oriented organizations are startups. If you look at any of the case studies, if you go to the US and you watch and you see any of the case studies about customer intimacy and customer focused organizations, they're mostly startups. Why are they startups? Because it's easier. Because they don't have to deal with the incumbency, right? And the incumbency is because most of our organizations are designed around product. So if I asked you how much do you make out of that product, you will know. But if I asked you how much you make out of that customer, you probably don't know. Right? So our unit of measure within the traditional organization is product. Our systems are designed around products, our finances are designed around products, our sales measures are designed around products, and our marketing is ruled by product. Product need to sell more stuff. As a marketer, I have to figure out who to sell it to. It's completely the wrong way around. Right? So, as Karen did, you need to go to the top. You cannot drive a customer intimacy program from the bottom. It cannot happen. You have to get your CEO on board with this. You have to get all of your executive on board with this because it's fundamental change. It's actually not a traditional marketing change. It changes every channel, every touch point, every interaction. You need to make the customer a trackable unit. Right? You need to be able to tell me when I walk into your organization how much you make out of that customer. And you need to be able to tell me how much potential is in that customer. And you need to tell me what you're going to do to that customer to capture that potential. And you need to have customer metrics because you need to balance product. Product ain't going away. Right? For those of you who think that product is going to go away, it ain't. But we need to create tension. And in order to create tension, you need to measure it. You need to be able to demonstrate that my customer marketing increases value. And you need to show which customers it does it for and which customers it doesn't do it for, so that your executive can see a balance. At the moment, all of the reporting comes out of product, all of the reporting is by product or geography, and that's what drives decision making. You won't get decisions until you can drive customer level reporting. You need to be specific about what an initiative is going to do. So some things, as I said, aren't just going to drive sales today. Some things are to build relationship for a future sale. And so you need to have measures around that. You need to be able to measure the impact of the service initiatives that you do on your customer relationship, you know, as Karen did with her NPS score. You need to have those measures. And then you need to say people with a higher NPS or customer intimacy score actually are more likely to buy. So there's value in building this up. Sorry. And then you need to progressively replace your product initiatives with your customer initiatives. So nobody is going to go and turn off all of your product initiatives tomorrow. Right? You need to build trust, and you need to demonstrate that a customer-centric approach will deliver better results, and you need to do that progressively.